Oh, whoops. Look what I have up. Ding, 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 guys.
I got my good dinger on.
I don't have a good dinger tonight, man. Like
I have my good one.
every week, I feel like we forget. Oh, well, not we, because you're a pretty good dinger, Josh.
Thanks.
I have to admit.
I pride myself in my dinging. Hey,
yeah, well, yeah.
We have a packed show, and we really try to keep this under an hour. But I think we need everybody to sit back for 5 hours. There's so much to talk about. So I hope you guys don't mind.
So much to talk about. We'll try to get through it within an hour because we are recording tonight, of course. Welcome to Anchor Watch, guys. Our weekly live late night Below Deck chat where we take over Up and Adam's channel to talk about Below Deck, recap this week's episode. We are also on the podcast. So this podcast episode comes out in 4 hours. So,
Jason, so first of all, I just want to say, like, congratulations, buddy. We've been doing this for a year together, and I'm looking around the web between, our views on Up and Adam's channel, between the thousands that you guys get on the podcast. I think we can safely say we're officially the biggest Below Deck show on the web right now. I mean,
I hope so, man. Like,
I think we might be
crazy.
And so I 100% say it's because of our crazy naughty yachties who've been with us.
All our naughty yachties in the live chat. They're already filling the room right now, which we love. It's crazy. And every Tuesday
there was that super chat. We just got that super chat. We have to say thank you.
Mireille, thank you so much. We love you to death. Mireille is one of our original mods and a very close friend of Adam and I. So she says, please hit that like button for Jason and Josh. And man, does that like button help us out so much. So if you just go over and just do
and you guys are awesome with it every week. I have to say, I am thoroughly impressed. You guys are good tippers. That's our tip.
That's our tip.
You guys are great tippers. So thank you. We work hard to give you guys an entertaining hour that you're with us. So thank you guys.
Lots of thank yous at the top too, Josh. Like, thank you guys for watching. We hit like 10,000 views on last week's episode, which is insane. Our podcast listens have been like really good, especially this show. So I love that. Yeah, not much to complain about.
Well, maybe not about our show. But there's
not about our show.
There's much to complain about, Jason. I was texting you earlier today, and we were kind of giving each other like the beats that we want to go over. That is probably one of the most packed lists we've ever put together coming into an episode. Where do you want to start? I know you had an idea.
As I was saying thank yous, I want to thank Camille for her great performance in the first 9 episodes of Below Deck. Like, legit. Thank you. Thank you, 51 Minds. Thank you, Below Deck Production, for giving us a great show. Like, honestly, insight to this industry. We've been having a blast. I have no complaints. No complaints.
Yeah. And 51 Minds, correct me if I'm wrong, Jason, because you're a little bit more up on this. 51 Minds is a newer producer of Below Deck.
No, I think I have it twisted tonight, so I'm going to sound a little foolish, but I believe 51 Minds has done like this one, and I believe they do. I don't know. I'm going to have to talk to Adrian Gang, who was on season 1. She knows the best, but I know there's one that does like Med and Down Under, and another one, a brand new company does Adventure, which I think is pretty noticeable.
I just, there's something about the way 51 Minds edits and stuff. I like it. I don't know. We're not, the things that you and I have complained about in the past about the production side of things, we're not seeing that or saying that this season.
No, man, no, not at all.
51 Minds is doing a great job. So that's one of those things that like we can look at when we're enjoying a season. I think it's important that we look at which production companies they are, because that's going to give us an idea of the level of end up. I just saw that comment. Jesus, you guys, gives us a good idea of what we could be in store for as far as like the skill level of those that and there are so many comments coming in. Okay, Jason,
let's we got to start with this. Can we start with this, or should we start with Camille?
Well, let's start with the captain. As Captain Sandy said in the teaser for the rest of the season, the fish rots from the head. And so let's start with the captain. Captain Lee has been tweeting a lot in the last
He has. And
24 hours.
you know what? Here's the thing about Captain Lee. Okay. We know he's coming back this season and he's going to have a good finish. From what we've been hearing, he's not returning after this season. He's got that nice decade under his belt. I don't know if they have started filming or about to start filming, but I heard there is a new captain in the works. Someone who will bring a little more drama. It's going to be really hard to replace Captain Lee. We love Captain Lee. We love everyone. Okay, don't get it wrong.
I want to say that too. So before we start this conversation, I too love Captain Lee. Captain Lee's been amazing. He is the foundation on which this whole franchise has been built off of. So
yes,
a huge, huge thank you to Captain Lee for helping build this show that we all love. Having said that,
buddy.
So
Camille was fired.
Yes.
Obviously, you know, we ended with that last week and started with that this week. And Captain Lee said, so I found out after the fact that she fired, referring to Captain Sandy, one of my crew, not before. Okay. Should I continue on the tweets, Josh?
Do they continue?
They continue. And you know what? I hate to say it. There is a lot of hypocrisy coming from Captain Lee and Camille this week via social media.
Well, let's see some more of these tweets from Captain Lee, and then we'll talk about it.
So I think he meant did it. She did it on camera without consulting me. She didn't need my permission. Now look at that line. She didn't need my permission. Obviously, she's the captain. She made the right call. Just a heads up would have been respectful. Okay, let's move on. Someone said, I hope that doesn't mean you're thinking of bringing her back. Not at all. She deserved what she got. That was never my issue. So many people can see that, and I'm sorry for that, or can't see that. I'm sorry for that. But it was a temporary situation at the time. I'm sure your physical condition was declined. Yeah. Yes. Okay, so he says, yes, it was a temporary situation from the jump. Okay, got it. He wanted basically Captain Sandy to ask for her approval. So I jumped in here and I said, hey, if she didn't need your approval, then why let you know before? She called you right after on camera. You know, that's kind of how I was thinking. And she made the right call, but notifying me. But she notified you. And some people were saying, well, Captain Sandy owed the courtesy to at least call you. And I'm like, did we miss this episode, guys? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, okay. So
I want to read this one really quick, Josh, because this is from Captain Sandy's partner, Leah, who's fantastic. She said she has more than good manners and has been nothing but kind and supportive. Not sure why you are tweeting all of this. She left me and our home to come and take over until you were well. We pray for you and your family and still and always wish you well.
Yeah. So here's the thing that's I'm a little confused on, or I'm a little disappointed in. So obviously he was in a bad place, and he even said to the crew, hey, look, I forget how he worded it, but basically he's like, I didn't do right by you guys by even coming to start with in this condition. Like he said, like, I failed you guys. I feel horrible.
Right.
Okay. So now I'm going to rectify it by getting off the boat. Cool. That's fine. That's honorable of him to admit that. Captain Sandy flies in last minute. And you know, too, like, yeah, she does below deck, but she also has her career. Like, so who knows, like, what she had scheduled, you know, like, I've got to assume a captain, especially as successful as her, like, has seasons planned out and stuff. So to get a call from Bravo saying, hey, we need you to fly in, it's like, okay, then I'm going to assume she had to get a captain to fill in for her because she had this gig and blah, blah, blah. And who knows, she's doing speaking engagements. She's, you know, working on that book. So she had a lot going on. She swings in to help. She comes down last minute. And then she's kind of thrown into this situation where it obviously had to be dealt with. And they were, in a matter of hours, going to turn that boat over and have new guests on. She's got to try to bring on a new crew member and stuff. So here she is, like, you know, dog paddling to keep her head above water a little bit there at the beginning. And then she still, though, takes the time to reach out to Captain Lee and go, hey, she FaceTimes him and goes, hey, this is, you know, tells him what the situation was and stuff. Yeah. I thought totally respectful. So I'm a little confused on his, like, yeah, in a perfect world, it would have been nice to get a call ahead of time, but there's timetables and stuff. You know that, Captain Lee. Like, the show must go on, as you
You're
and I
not
always
new.
say.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
not new, and to have it's funny to have that respect for her to come and fill in for you, and someone actually DM'd me, and said it's funny how when Captain Lee has health situations and, he needs to recover, how he treats the captains who are there to recover. I mean, we had Captain Sean fill in for that first episode and a half on last season, season 9, who brought the boat down. They asked him to stay around until Lee could come in. And then now we have Sandy filling in. And the way he was to Sean was like, get off my boat, kind of thing. And the way he's acting now, I mean, the thing is Captain Lee is very, very educated in Bravo and drama. Okay. He is a great captain.
So do you think part of this is he's putting on a show to stay?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Let me see if there's any more twits or twits. What am I thinking tonight? I'm thinking these tweets were pretty twitiful. The only thing Captain Sandy really posted, seriously, I have so much positive going on and I am so blessed. Twitter drama is so unappealing. What a waste of energy.
Well, I mean, do we disagree?
No, we don't. No.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, in this situation, I was just kind of shocked. Like, I was like, you're losing me here. At first it was like, well, she should have called me. And then, no, I mean, she should have called me before. And then it's like, just recover, get better, and come back. When Captain Sandy stepped on to take your place and you left the vessel, Captain Sandy is now in charge. And we can double check with Captain Sean. Captain Sandy is now in charge of that vessel and that crew and what happens on that boat.
Well, so, I have to imagine that Captain Sandy isn't supposed to be there, like at the wheel. A storm's coming and she's got to check in with Captain Lee. Can I move this yacht? We're about to have a storm hit us in the face. Like, yeah, I don't know. I still respect Captain Lee a lot. He's still an awesome captain. I'm a little disappointed in how he handled this, especially when I feel like nothing Captain Sandy did in that situation was wrong. I think anyone with half a brain even would go, she completely did the right thing. She made the right call.
Of course. Of course.
Except her. Camille said that was the last thing she wanted to do.
Debauchery. Guys, why are we talking about Twitter drama on Below Deck? This is so funny. This is not one of Adam's shows about housewives or hot, messy topics. And we're sitting here talking about feuding captains and so many opinions. But, Captain Lee has been known to send out a tweet or two. That's for sure. So
yeah.
We had this.
Live tweet.
He loves his live tweet.
Yeah.
He loves. I try not to get on his bad side. Sometimes I agree with him, but sometimes I don't. I need to stay off Twitter too. But we ended with this. And we saw a lot on social media where Camille was saying, this is a narrative. There's actually somebody posted that she was like, I didn't want to be the narrative. You guys are making me look bad. I got a bad edit. And then we had Chef Ryan for Below Deck Down Under comment somewhere underneath. Yeah, I'm here for the comments. Like, he said something like, let's tell the truth about editing and stuff. And I totally agree. There is editing. This is how you make a show. Yeah. However, what are you giving editing? Because most of the time we've been seeing you on the show and any footage we've gotten of you, especially when you were in your room, drunk, twerking until you passed out. I mean, it just shows us like kind of like how you carry yourself. So bad edit, maybe. So she was complaining about that. Then now, just recently, I think this was just very recent, right? This came up. I'm going to see if I can play it for you guys. So she kind of addresses this. Let me turn this on.
Television. I was like, I'm not grateful and thankful for the opportunity. And it was so fun. I really enjoyed everyone I worked with. It didn't end the way I wanted it to end, but hell, it made good TV. So fuck it. But anyways, I just wanted to say thank you to everybody. And I'm just super excited for this next chapter. And I wish everyone the best.
Hold on. And there we go. Her 15 minutes of fame is up. There we go.
Thank you, 51 Minds. Thank you, Below Deck. Thank you. I had a great experience. The Below Deck community. Well, I mean, yes, thank you too.
You got to try to save face, right? At the end there. You got to kind of.
I mean, but what changed? Are they planning on bringing her back in some capacity? I know she's coming back either next episode or later in the season. as kind of a
surprise. That's another thing we got to talk about is that teaser trailer. Jeez Louise, there's so much to talk about. Yeah, but she, I mean, yes, Camille, you were right. Like, it was great TV. Like, so, and on one hand, we can kind of complain, but on the other hand, it's like, but we loved it, right?
We
like,
loved it. But you know
as
what?
far as entertainment goes, we didn't have to work with her. So
peace out, Camille. Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, Josh, I don't even know if I have this photo. Do you remember our favorite person ever? And I don't even know if I have this photo, and it's going to make me so angry that I don't have it, and I don't have it. But Camille hooked up or not hooked up, but got together with Ashley Marty from Below Deck Sailing, the one with the pizza or the pasta face that I always like put her photo up. They got together.
My gosh.
Just to cause trouble. You know how these girls are. Norma, thank you so much for the super chat. Captain Lee, thank Captain Sandy when she FT him. Strange. On the FaceTime. Yeah, it's crazy.
And he was crazy. Like, he seemed like cool with it and was gracious with it. Look at that photo of Norma too. Holy cannoli. Norma.
I mean, she's an actress.
Headshot. Hey there.
Lots of people in the chat, guys, hit that like button for us. We appreciate it so much. Okay, we got to move on because Camille, of course, didn't take this lightly. So much so that Captain Sandy even had to go down to her, I want to call it crew quarters. I want to call it a dorm. It's like a dorm. And says like, girl, you got to move. We have a charter starting. I need you off this boat. She calls her roommate Katie down to come help her pack up. But on the way down to pack up, Camille wanted to have words with all the heads of departments who she thought were responsible for her being fired.
So, I mean, here we go. Good TV, right? So, although she was ill-equipped to verbally take on Captain Rachel, and that was her first stop was on her little tour there was with Chef Rachel. I said Captain.
Yes.
Chef Rachel. And Chef Rachel verbally slapped her around a little and sent her on her way. It was kind of embarrassing. It was not an even fight. We'll just say that.
Yeah, I don't this moment was fabulous. Rachel's like busy, and we'll get to Rachel in a second because she's having some issues with timing with food. But as I said, I really think she's trying to make up for past seasons and compete against herself. I really think she's trying to make the most of this experience that you're supposed to have on a yacht. But when Camille was talking to her, she's like, listen, these are the things I saw. I don't care. Bye. Move on. Go to the next department head and give your 2 cents. No one cares.
Yeah. I don't know. And she kind of went there and tried to stir the pot. I mean, at the end of the day, I guess it was a good goodbye as far as television goes, but it was like kind of nobody bit. Like they just kind of went like, okay, yeah. Sorry, it didn't work out. See ya.
Girl,
like,
what do you expect?
Yeah.
Kempire says, Kempire hi, by the way. I appreciate it for our entertainment. Yes, 100%. This was like amazing.
Yeah.
And hi, Kempire. Are you still up? I thought you and Adam were like early people. Maybe not. Maybe he's a night owl. No, but it was amazing. And then she goes to Frasier, and Frasier's been having he's been getting a lot of flack this season because I think he is I do think he is a little over his head at times. And I don't think he has that TV punch that maybe Kate Chastain had or Hannah Ferrier. And people are kind of like, come on, dude, step up and lead your department. But I really think Frasier has a heart, Well, I didn't love seeing him hiding and crying in the closet. That's not really a great sign of a good leader, but I love his heart. I love how invested he is into his team. And,
Frasier was, here's my thing. Let's not forget, while he has had some experience being chief stew, he hasn't had a ton. And so I tweeted about this one earlier, and I basically said, like, hey, he's doing a great job. Like, we're watching a new leader learn before our very eyes.
Yes.
I 100% think he's going to be fantastic. He's got the foundation for it. He's, we know he's good television. It's funny, in recent episodes, I feel like he's just run so ragged that he doesn't have time to give us those witty quips and those funny little sayings that he says. And so I think it's because he's literally physically exhausted. That boat too, it is bigger. We keep forgetting it is bigger than any boat that below deck teams have worked on. So just going from, oh, let me go grab you a drink. That's like twice the hike as it is on the other boats.
I'll be back in 20.
Yeah. And so I think they're just physically tired too. And now he's running a crew of 2 and himself, as opposed to 3 and himself. So they're down a person. So everybody's shift is longer. The chores, there's more for each person to do. They need to get a 4th on there, which it sounds like we're getting.
Yep.
And
which is a whole nother story in itself. But I mean, you see the fatigue that it's already causing the interior team, right? You have Haley who's trying to keep up. Her foot's hurting. I mean, it's just it's just what they're going to have to do.
The guests are noticing the biggest problem. And you know what? The unfortunate, like, Fraser isn't like, he's not whining, he's not complaining, he's not doing, putting on a show or anything for the guests to make them think like, oh, I'm so tired. I think they just legitimately, honestly see like, man, this poor guy is like running ragged here.
Yeah.
And
I agree, Kempire. I felt for Fraser, but disagreed with liking Camille as a person. you know.
I think that's like a British, like, graceful goodbye kind of thing. I can't imagine he really finds her to be, the kind of person he would want to hang out with.
Well, now we have to deal with this aftermath of Camille. And I want to get to a place in here because I want to bring up Captain Sean for questions. But before we get into that, we're dealing with this aftermath. We have Ben now, who
I think he cried
dream
for
woman
4 hours. I think he cried for 4 hours straight.
His dream woman has walked the plank. Literally has left.
Ross put it really well when he laughed and kind of was like, they've dated 2 or 3 weeks. Like, move on. Like,
yeah. And if that's coming from Ross, you got to be like, all right, dude.
Well, and obviously she wasn't ripped up. She wasn't torn up. She was kind of like, oh, this sucks. We were having a lot of fun boning. I'll miss you. Bye. And he was like,
you
for like 4 hours. And like every time we saw him, no matter what he was doing. Oh.
Well, if you look down at this photo, at least Tony will be able to get some sleep. That's pretty much all we saw of Tony in this episode was, thank God I'm not going to hear the ra-ta-cha-cha-cha above on my bed.
And actually, people don't know, this is a shot from the episode after she left. He's on a pillow there. So he's working through the pain.
Just working through the pain. I think Captain Sandy has kind of enough to go up to him like she did here and kind of, it's just kind of weird. It's like, sorry.
Yeah.
Let me come give you a hug. I'm so sorry, your girlfriend for the past 3 weeks. Remember, the show films only 6 weeks. Okay, so this is all happening within 6 weeks, and every time I think of that, I'm like, y'all are crazy. Like, you guys are just crazy.
They give us a good show, though.
So we're gonna come back to something, but I want to jump up to something because later in the episode there was another yacht nearby, and they got called, or David, who was on, or sorry, what am I? Ben was on anchor watch, and the captain or whoever was in charge of the other yacht was calling Motor Yacht St. David and saying, hey, the winds are looking crazy. We might come near you if something happens. Can you move the boat? Captain Sandy said, I'm not moving the damn boat. Like, it's just not happening. There's no reason for it. Even Ben agreed. He's like, yeah, I mean, usually if you're second to the anchorage, you have to be the one to move. But in this instance, there's not really a reason.
Well, and there wasn't a reason yet. Like, he was concerned, what if the wind blows? And like right now, she's like, it's 5 knots. Like, it's barely blowing. We're good. Like, and she said we have someone on anchor watch. So, hey, shout out. She said, we have someone on anchor watch for this.
Sure do.
Reason.
Josh and Jason.
If the boats start blowing, Josh and Jason will paddle. No, yeah, it's just Yeah, it was that was kind of a funny moment where that other captain just kind of made himself look like a fool on, you know, international television. But
agreed. And let me see if I have any of these tweets.
I think that captain even said too, is there someone crying in the background? And Ben was
I love how Captain Sandy, though, and you know, she does have a reputation. I mean, she really does. Like, I've had personal experience with people talking about her and going to some of her lectures and her things. She is one of these women in this industry who has made it to the top like that. And she was describing how in this industry, captains like that are going to mansplain to her. And a lot of people point out on Twitter when she got on the radio, the tone of the other captain changed. And she just wasn't, she was putting her foot down. And I kind of really admired that. I mean, here you are in one night, you're standing up to this guy, right? And then you're getting annihilated on Twitter by the person that you're helping to recover. You know, like, you're filling in for this guy and he's going at you on Twitter. Craziness. That is just proof of what she was talking about in this industry.
Yeah, you know what? I feel like if Captain Sandy brought you and I on for a charter and had us as guests, we would be so polite and so nice. I'm just trying to work out getting on board one of Captain Sandy's.
How do we do that? You know, listen, I put a poll up on our Twitter, and Kempire, who's on here, he responded with something, and I said, okay, where are we going on our charter? And everyone voted that we should go on sailing with Captain Glenn. Kempire demanded a recount, but I think we really should go with Captain Sandy and see how she runs this boat.
Yeah, I think, or here's the deal. We should go on one charter with each of them, and then we'll report back on which one we had the most fun with. I think that's the only fair thing to do. You guys, I'm willing to take the time off of work to go on several yacht cruises for you. So
I have a question. Are you willing to also be responsible for the tip?
Ooh. Well, here's the thing.
I didn't think about that, did you?
Well, I don't want to sway the vote with money and stuff. Let's not, you know what? We'll come back to this. We'll put a pin in it. We'll figure that out. So we'll be sponsored. Right. We'll be sponsored, Jason.
We'll be sponsored. You know, maybe when we get Captain Sean to invite us on our charter. Speaking of Captain Sean, let's bring you up for a few questions really quick, and then we'll jump back into the recap because
Sean,
you guys are on it, sending in questions. We love you guys. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for sending in questions, DMing us, DMing Sean, asking what's going on. We're so lucky to have him for a few minutes a night to kind of give his insight into the industry. Like, we all want to know, like, is Captain Sandy in the right or the wrong for not?
Hey, real quick, before you bring up Captain Sean too, for those of you guys who are watching in the replay crew, turn on the live chat. Some of what's being said, we can't even put on screen because we want this to be a semi-family show. And I'm looking at this chat. These people are getting wild. Good Lord. That's all I'm going to say.
I love this chat. I mean, this chat is so fun. It's this late night, not a yachty chat. All right, guys, let's bring up Captain Sean really quick. It's the theme song for me.
Hey! Whoa, what's with the logo, Captain Sean? Where are you?
I am in Fort Lauderdale in the Worth Avenue office here in Fort Lauderdale, and above the big W.
The world famous Worth Avenue Yachts.
The world famous
Worth Avenue Yachts. Yeah,
I want to give a big shout out to Worth Avenue Yachts. By the way, if you guys haven't seen their YouTube channel or been to their website, they're one of the hottest brokerages in the industry. Also gay owned, which is kind of the only, I think, if I'm not mistaken,
the only ones that'll admit to it.
Then there's that. And they have a great website, a great YouTube, and the Palm Beach Boat Show is coming up, and they always do an amazing job. So that's coming up in March. But Sean, we have some questions for you tonight.
Yeah, no, I got a ton of questions.
Listen, I want to ask you about this Anchorage situation that Sandy was dealing with another yacht. There was some wind. I guess they were kind of close. Maybe the yacht was moving. I don't know. Who has the right of way here? to say, hey, you need to move your yacht. I'm worried about the wind. If the wind picks up, we're going to be close to you.
Well, okay.
You're muted, Josh.
Oh, sorry. I was going to add Captain Sean. They were also over 135 yards apart. I'm just going to put that. And the winds were at 5 knots. So giving you all the info.
All right. So legally, so basically there's 2 different ways to look at this. There's the legal one, whereas that if you feel that your yacht, your vessel's in danger and you can do something to avoid having a collision with another boat, you're supposed to take action to do that. So if Sandy felt that she was in danger or whatever, then she's smart. She would haul up the anchor and go. And the other captain would, both, like, he would be, since he dropped his anchor second, he'd probably be a little bit more culpable. But the right thing to do, and I've been in this exact same situation. I've been in an anchorage. I got a great spot. We're looking good. And some guy comes and drops his chain, like, right next to me. And I'm like, what are you freaking thinking? And, like, at that point, I just might move just because this guy's a freaking idiot anyway. But for the other guy to call her up, and he called up, and he knew he wasn't going to get the captain when he called up. He was going to get the mate, and the mate would be like, oh, maybe we'll haul some chain up or whatever. There's a couple different ways to get it. But anyway, no, Sandy did entirely exactly what I would have done.
When she said no, if you guys feel like you're in danger or whatever, you can
then freaking move.
Haul anchor. What does that mean? Haul anchor. Does that mean like lift it up
and move it? And actually physically move it.
Okay.
Yeah. So, like, what I would have said over the radio, I would have said, well, if you feel that you're in danger of collision, then like you guys can move. And I would have been polite about that over the radio, but like off the radio, I've been like, who the fuck is this guy thinking he's going to make,
Listen, this face that we got from Sandy too. She was just not playing. She was like, you woke my ass up. You woke my ass up. I have someone on anchor watch. Yeah. If it got to the point where we needed to do something, then I would have been woken up. I mean, it is what it is. All right, Sean, we're not going to keep you long tonight. I know you're in an office tonight, and I know you're busy, but I do have some questions for you that got sent in. Let's bring some up. Okay. Hey, Sean, does he have any boating superstitions?
Oh, that's a good one.
This is a great question.
Captain Sean.
Do I have any boating superstitions? Yeah, there's one that was told to me by, it was I went to Tabor Academy and they had a training ship and I was whistling and he goes, and the captain was like, what are you doing? And I said, well, I'm whistling. He's like, you'll be whistling up the wind. So a couple times I feel like I'll be whistling on the boat or something. I don't know. For some reason I might whistle. I very rarely whistle, but I'll be like, and I'll stop myself. And so that would be one of my superstitions, would be whistling up the wind.
Whistling up the wind. Yeah. That's funny. Sean, I actually talked to a very good friend of yours today who let me know some stories about you, especially back in the day. We were on the phone for like 2.5 hours. And she's actually going to be coming onto our podcast.
Wonderful.
To tell us about, how she does interiors on yachts and stuff like that. So we're really excited to have her. But I have another question for you tonight. Does Captain Sean get a chance to spend time with friends?
Every Tuesday night.
Tuesday night at 11 p.m.
What an answer. Get this guy a show, for crying out loud. I love it. Well,
do you have a lot of free time, Sean? Because you do jump from charter to charter. I know you're on a project right now. We have a project going on. I know you have 15 other projects lined up. When do you get a chance to I need to take a chill pill for a second?
Never.
I'll say this. I've obviously we've become really good friends with Captain last year. And we'll talk Sean will be in the car. I'll be picking up Wally from school or whatever. We'll find time to connect and talk about just fun stuff. he and I are into kind of geeky stuff, and so we'll talk about games or movies or whatever that we want to chat about stuff. So we're texting a lot. I mean, we're sending each other crazy stuff on Instagram. So I think Captain Sean is a man on the road, but good at using tech to keep in touch with, stay connected with friends. Like I've never met you in person, but I feel like you're like friends now. Like we're talking all the time. Like so much of my day is like moments with Captain Sean.
I know. I actually I'll look forward and be like, uh-oh, what's he said now? Sometimes it's like, do I click on this? Or there's some things you can't unsee.
All right, Sean, we have a question from the live chat that I'm actually very interested in as well. Is there a special lady in Captain Sean's life?
Is there a special lady in just you, Norma?
Oh, I was Sean. The other answer I was going to say is, we'll first name a city and we'll let you know.
Courtney, by the way, I love reading whenever you comment and stuff. You always have something fun to say. But she says, curious, how early do they get preference lists to prepare? Usually on television, it looks like 24 to 48 hours to get whiskey bottles or food. And I remember either you said or someone said that preference sheet meeting is not actually, I think Adrian actually said it. It's not actually something that happens.
But yeah, what
is that true? Oh, it is? Okay.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I'll go over if we have a preference, most of the time the preference sheets are complete. It's like very rarely are they completely accurate.
And who do you blame for that? Is that the charter broker?
No, like it's the guess. You'll get like, some people would be like, oh, I'm gluten, sugar, everything intolerant, and then they're like, eating a Dove bar, and like, everything that you said was bad for you in it. But anyway, no, rarely are they accurate. Rarely are they. I mean, they're a good starting point. And
how much time, like you receive it, how much time until charter that do you actually have, Sean, to like pull it together?
Sometimes it's a couple weeks in advance. Like we had, I had a charter season I did actually on my Sienna over in Europe when it was New Vita, and those preference sheets we had, a lot of the charters we had booked well in advance, because we had people that, like, we had one guy that he ordered $50,000 worth of wine.
Wow.
On board.
For how many days is he staying on the boat?
He was staying for a week.
And how many bottles of wine are we talking about?
It was a good selection. I mean, there was some expensive wine in there. I mean, that was a great charter. We were going out, and we had a couple $40,000 bar tabs with him.
Wow.
Yeah, he ordered the big magnums of champagne and going crazy and stuff. So
overrated. Amy Seeks Truth, thank you so much for the super chat. Ahoy to all. Ahoy back, Amy. Love seeing you here. And guys, thank you for being in the chat. All the naughty yachties. You guys are just like killing it in the chat tonight. We would love it. 165 in the room. Hit that like button. We appreciate it. Sean, I know you have a question or two that you got sent in as well. I think one from one of our regulars in the room and a friend of ours, and sent you a question.
Yeah, she sent me two. So basically, she sent me about the anchoring etiquette, and the other one was about just and this is, I've been looking at the chat. She said, Courtney gift, there was no Viv Captain Sean yet. There was a lot of people have been wondering, should Sandy have consulted Lee ahead of time? And the answer to that question is, like, Sandy's in charge. I mean, she was left in charge of the boat. She did call Lee after the fact and said, by the way, we had to let her go. And the comment would have been like, okay, you're the one running the show. So,
thanks for taking care of something that a lot of people thought should have happened weeks ago. And now, instead of applauding Captain Sandy for making that, it's really, she let Fraser. Sorry, I gotta say his name correctly. Fraser she let him make that decision, which I thought was a great lesson for him. You know, he's like growing in this role, which is so fun to watch. But once he decided, hey, we can do without her. It's just not good for the crew. It's not good for the camaraderie. Like we got to let her go. Then she said, okay, then they have to go. Now she's being like kind of slammed on social media for like, well, you didn't call Captain Lee, but she did. And as I said, and I think it's true, Sean, like if someone were going to come and replace you, and you've done like a charter barely, and you're not going to be back for a while, and this person's going to do like 9 charters or something between the time you get back, I think they have the right to make those calls, right?
Yeah, I was actually in this exact same situation on a boat where I jumped in for a friend of mine, and like he said, you know, do what you got to do. And I fired the chief stew and the chef. And then I called him up and was like, by the way, I fired the chief stew and the chef. And he was like, okay, you know, good for you. It's a little different if like you're doing a delivery. And when I delivered that boat up to Greenland this summer, not the one that I did the guide on, but like if I'm only there for a week and I was just delivering the boat, and they said, and like one of the crew members, no, that's not going to fly unless you like, then you might want to call. But she's in there. She knows what she's doing. She's got a crew. She's got the run. Plus it's like, it's the show. He knows the deal. So
yeah. He knows the deal. And I feel like, Captain Lee is one of those people too who has been around this show for now 10 seasons. I mean, we've watched him grow, you know what I mean? He started 10 seasons ago when Adrian Gang was on the show, and I was talking to your friend today who met, I think, Adrian and you before the show was even thought of or something. It was crazy to talk to her. I really appreciated that conversation. But what I was going to say is like, he's been around forever. Kate Chastain is someone who was on Below Deck, who was a fan favorite, who just knew how to work the camera, and she knew how to work things off the camera. And I think that Captain Lee also knows how to do that. I don't think there's any malice coming from Captain Lee. I think he's just trying to play this role of like, it's my boat and I'm coming back, and it makes his re-entrance coming back even more exciting because we've had all this drama that's happened, you know, in Bravo fashion.
Yeah. And thank you, Cheese Pixie. I appreciate that. Cheese Pixie's a special woman in my life. Is the
so there is. So did you lie to us about having a special woman? No, I'm kidding.
No. And then
the Cheese Pixie says he's too intelligent for Bravo. I can second that. I do agree with that.
It was funny when. It was People Magazine or something was trolling my my Facebook looking for my relationships, and what I keep my private life very private. Just because
until I come visit you, and then I get on here and tell everything that I saw and did.
I mean, I think he's done a good job of keeping his dancing career private. Nobody knows that he's in the
Nobody knows about that.
That many days a week. So.
Exactly, yeah.
And where? Captain Sean, hey, we appreciate you being here tonight.
Yeah.
And
thanks for calling us from the office.
Thanks for calling us from the office. We love Worth Avenue.
I got one more.
Can't wait to see you. One more?
Two more quick questions.
Hit us with it.
All right. So this is actually from Heather. Asked this question. She goes, when as a broker, how do you vet your clients to make sure that they can afford the boats that we're showing them?
Oh, interesting.
And I said,
that's a great question.
Yeah, that's a pretty good question. And basically is if they can afford to buy the boat, like I'm working with clients right now, before I would even make an offer on the yachts that we're looking at, I would probably ask them to at least deposit $1 million in our escrow account. And that's a good way to vet them. If I haven't worked with them before.
That's a very good way to vet somebody. Like, can you just like wire $1 million to the escrow account and we'll start looking?
I asked that of guests too before they come over, just to make
Well,
sure.
no, I mean, seriously, like the boats we're looking at are like, between 150 and 200 million bucks. So
Yeah.
And I'm not going to go to the other brokers of the things unless these guys are legit.
Yeah.
And then the other question was from Nancy in Austin, Texas, and she asked who my first crush was, and I'll answer that. I was in 8th grade, and my first crush was Nicole Gauthier. So anyway, Nicole, if you're out watching, there you go.
And Dub says Bravo might need Captain Sean to start vetting housewives. That wouldn't be a bad idea, as you do have a background in a lot of things that people just not necessarily know about. You do a lot more than being a broker and being an amazing captain as well. Nice. And I'm excited. So guys, I just want to put this out here right now. Captain Sean and I have a lot that we're doing together, and Josh as well, this year. A lot of content that will be spilling out as well on another channel of ours. So we will let you know about that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Sean, we always appreciate your time. Thank you for coming in, and hopefully we'll see you next week if this move goes well this week.
Well, fantastic. All right, guys. All right, good night. And good night all.
Good night, Sean.
Yeah, right. I forgot you and Adam are moving, and so we don't even know if the studio is going to be up and running next week.
And there's another Below Deck event next week, and I kind of want to go, but it's like I can't live stream it. We can't talk about the show, not like when we did our event. But let's jump back in really quick, because a lot of people, Josh, we've talked about this before. I get a lot of comments like, who watches those yacht shows? Oh, another boat show? And also a comment like this: Captain Lee can't wait to get you back to the boat, or can't get back to the boat fast enough for me. The crew needs him back, and so do the viewers. Not says the ratings at 1.268 million viewers. It's a season high. Thank you, TV Deets, for always being on it with our ratings so we can see who's watching what. And Below Deck is still crushing it, killing it. It is still the top rated show on Bravo. And that goes with Below Deck.
Thank you, Camille. Thank you, Camille.
Across the board. Thank you, Camille. Let's give her a thank you. Look at this. These performances. I mean, literally, like, just bring her back for fun.
That's actually a great go back a photo, because I actually wanted to discuss. Nope. Forward one. There we go. Alyssa.
Yes.
So one of the things, obviously Ben was not happy with Camille leaving. I don't know if I mentioned it, but he was crying a lot.
You mentioned it. You mentioned it.
I wasn't sure. There's been a lot said tonight, but Camille, he wasn't happy about it. So obviously he was giving attitude to her. All of a sudden, they do cut to her, and she's feeling like a lot of guilt, and she's saying, I feel like everyone on the boat is talking about me and stuff. Like we said before, I personally think for the most part, she was not asking unnecessary things of Camille. I'm not one of the people who think she was bullying Camille. I will say, I do think she got off lightly with the whole arguing in front of the guest thing. I think Captain Sandy should have come down on her harder. Obviously, that was the last straw for Camille. I don't know if it's the last straw for Alyssa necessarily. I wouldn't say fire her, but I do think she still deserved a stronger reprimanding. But she's
the thing about Alyssa that I don't understand, and I might be kind of like off my rocker here, but like all of a sudden Camille is gone. Like, this is the problem that you had, right? She could do nothing right, which she proved over and over and over and over again. But now you're stressed. Now you feel guilty. Now you're insecure. Now, I don't know if the crew's talking. No one's talking about you. Ben is sad. Ben brought up that maybe you had something to do with this. It's like, okay, he'll get over it too. Obviously, we're going to get a new Stu to replace her. Apparently, this new Stu who's coming in sends nudes back and forth with Ben, and Ben might have already a girlfriend or someone that he's, seeing, texting, communicating with, and here she comes on board And I wonder if that night out that we're getting the preview of in the teaser for episodes to come, when Camille comes back and meets everyone while they're out and about, which I guess would be sooner than later, because why is she hanging out in St. Lucia, right? I wonder if the new girl will be there. And if that's a thing we're going to get to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, with Alyssa, I'm like, girl, like, you're good. You know, like,
you're safe.
You shouldn't
now.
Yeah. You're safe. You're fine. All right. I want to move into the biggest topic of the night.
Wait, before we go to the biggest topic of the night, just thank you, Norma, for mentioning that. You guys, thank you for hitting the like button. It's such an easy, free way to help us out. It like helps get the word out. You guys have really helped push us up in the algorithm. If you guys haven't noticed, we've gotten significantly more views. Thank you for that. That's 100% your guys' engagement that shows others that this show is worth watching. So thank you for doing that. Thanks for hitting that. Also, thank you all week long for those of you guys who are commenting in our replay crew. As you see, Jason and I go back. We're liking stuff. I'm commenting all week long. Every other day or so, I try to go on and answer people's questions. So just thank you guys for commenting. Thanks for sharing your thoughts. Also, thank you for being respectful. Like, there are different opinions in our comments. There's differing opinions in our chat, but everybody is super respectful, says it in a way that like, it's a sign of intelligence when people can debate something
100%.
rather than fight. And I love that our friends here can like discuss something openly and share very differing opinions. I know a lot of you guys differ with me in the comments, like say, hey, Josh.
Same.
And I love it. I'm the way that you guys do it. Yeah. We have a smart crew that we ride.
We do. Yeah. We have a smart crew. They were vetted by Captain Sean before we let you into this chat.
Each of you deposited your $1 million in escrow, and we love you for it. So, okay, Jason, you teased. We're going on to what you say is the biggest. I can't imagine what's bigger than what
besides the fact that Ross dated Elizabeth Franchini from Below Deck before, who, by the way, I'm going to link it in the description below. Adam did an interview with, like maybe the first 6 months, year he had a YouTube channel. So I'll link that below. It's an interesting and very boring interview. But yes, Ross dated her for like 4 years. So he was coming out of this thing. Now he's like going into this Katie situation, which we will see more of, because if you look at this first 9 episodes we've had, it's been really focused on Camille, Captain Lee leaving, but we haven't even gotten to the deck team. The deck team just seems to be on it. But on the horizon, it looks like Katie and Ross might have some trouble in paradise moving forward. I'm throwing up any picture tonight. Sorry. So I just don't think this is going to last, but maybe it will. Who knows?
For her sake, I hope it doesn't.
I mean, really, Elizabeth Franchini. Anyway, right. So I want to talk about Chef Rachel here, because last week, a lot of people are also going on Chef Rachel. It's like, she's having the worst season. What happened to Chef Rachel? Like, I see it all over social media, and I'm like, guys,
okay.
First of all, here we go with the hypocrisy. Rachel was an alcoholic. She drank too much. Then it was like, oh, she's the best we ever had. And now you see her. She's in her zone, especially this season, and she wants to one-up herself. Yes, is it taking time? Yes. If I was on a yacht and we're going around the world, I hope it wouldn't take 20 minutes. You know what I mean? But what do you think about this?
Jason, I was thinking about this a lot.
Okay.
Because, first of all, I love Chef Rachel. So,
yeah.
But I will say, she's having a challenging season, and I've thought about why. So, but I first want to say, like, let's lay it out there. There's been a couple now, or maybe even 3 services where she's done these tasting menus. It's been multi-course, and we're running on like 2-hour dinners here. Each course is taking quite a bit of time to get out. Thank you so much, Judy. Oh, thanks for finding us and spending Tuesday nights with us.
Hey, Judy in the live chat.
we picked Tuesdays because there's usually not anything going on. So we thought, let's do something on Tuesday nights.
It was the only night I could convince Adam to take over his channel. But
Yes.
Judy says, this is my second live with you guys. Thank you for making my Tuesday nights entertaining. Thank you for being here. You guys, literally Tuesday nights is one of my favorite nights because we've just built this and it's fun to see you guys comment. We love interacting with you guys. Just FYI. Thank you so much, Judy.
Thank you. So what I was saying was, so there's been several dinners now where guests are waiting up to 2.5 hours for the whole dinner go. So what I was thinking was, it's because she's trying to do she's preparing each course like live. Like, so it's when it hits their table, it is super fresh. So what I want to say is, if I were talking to Chef Rachel right now, I would say, I know on a scale of 1 to 10, you love to be a 15, but every once in a while, it's okay for you to slum it and go down to 10.
I compare it to
she wants to wow them with each course, and each course I'm sure is a wow. The thing is like maybe on a few of them, cheat a little, have some of it a little more prepared ahead of time. Like, it's okay if it's like I said, on a scale of 1 to 10, you're always a 15. It's okay if some of them are 10s. You know what I mean? Like,
that's true.
No, here's this. Oh yeah, go ahead, and then I'll
really quick. I kind of compare it to, when Adam and I used to work in West Hollywood and nightclubs and stuff, and I used to run 2 restaurants for Lisa Vanderpump, and whenever we would have like a big night or whatever, when we were opening this restaurant called Tom Tom, which a lot of you will know, they wanted to do all of these craft cocktails that have like 15 ingredients, and they smoke and they fizz and they whatever. And I remember Lisa's daughter, Pandora, who was a big part of the business, was like, nope, we're not doing that because people want to come in. It's West Hollywood. They want to come in. They want to grab a drink. They want to go. Vodka soda, this and that. Like, yeah, sure, make some cool craft cocktails, but like they want to go. They want to drink. And these people, as much as they want a great food experience, and a great culinary experience from an awesome chef, they're like, we got to eat. You know what I mean? We want to eat and go to bed.
Well, or we want to eat and we want to do some of that playing on deck afterwards. We want to so we don't want our whole evening to be at this dinner table. So I get it though. Here's the thing. She's trying to just knock their socks off. So it's like, you can't be super mad. Like, it'd be one thing if it's like she's back there just smoking a cigarette and playing like on a Game Boy or something. It's like, well, geez, get off your ass, girl. But she's out there busting her hump. But it's like, okay, you don't need to milk the cow and make cheese live in real time.
Within the span of dinner service, because what it does is it makes the service slow, and it makes Fraser and Haley or Alyssa, whoever's on service, kind of look bad, like for not paying attention. Now, there was a complaint from the guest about the miso soup that came out that actually looked like no other miso soup I've ever seen in my life. It looked really good, and I love miso soup. It's very basic, I know, but I really do love it. I lived in Japan for 3 years. Miso soup's everywhere. But, they wish that they would have poured the soup, and Captain Sandy brought that up in front of Alyssa, and Alyssa had a little bit of an issue with this. And she's like, why would she say that? I think Alyssa even said that bitch, if I'm not mistaken, about Captain Sandy. That made me like, I'm like, Alyssa, girl, she fired Camille. Give her a break.
You didn't get yelled at for your incident. Like, chill.
Exactly.
Okay, but so I just want to wrap up the Chef Rachel thing, because then Captain Sandy has a talk with her on the deck, calls her up to the bridge and says, hey, like, look, this dinners, they're taking long. Please don't do these 8-course, 10-course meals anymore. Maybe do 4 courses. And then around the world is the appetizer, a starter, main course, and the dessert thing.
I mean, what did we get this time? Like miso soup, Turkish stuffed dates, some kind of rigatoni, whatever the hell.
So here's the thing, though. The thing I loved is Chef Rachel went, yep, valid point. Okay, cool. Like, that's how you have
criticism.
Yes, she took it. She's a professional. She took it well. Captain Sandy delivered it well. Those are 2 professionals that went into a situation. Captain gave a suggestion. Someone tweeted too, I love that Captain Sandy came with an answer and not just the problem. Like she actually said, here's the problem. Here's my suggestion for an answer. Chef Rachel said yes. And that's always like so refreshing just to see two adults, being professional. And it's like, yeah, I mean, Chef Rachel's
it makes it interesting. So. I mean, this conversation that happened between Captain Sandy and Chef Rachel, I thought was interesting because, like you said, we're watching professionalism. That's also interesting. Besides Camille and her drama, the professionalism in this industry that's so mysterious to so many people, which I think is why this show has such great ratings, is we're watching professionalism. And there were a couple of things on social media. You know, I like dive into Below Deck on like Mondays before we do this.
I told you last episode, I keep my finger on the pulse of the Below Deck community.
Right.
I'm reading that hashtag. I'm reading that hashtag Below Deck, guys.
Yeah, you are. No, but you know, a lot of people were like, well, Captain Sandy started the conversation with her back turned towards Rachel, like she didn't. I'm like, why are we reading into this so much? Someone said also it looked like the boat was moving. She's also on the bridge. She's paying attention to stuff. And I think she respects Rachel, Captain Sandy, respects Rachel enough where she's kind of maybe afraid to say it, but kind of like, hey, I don't really know how to say this. I don't want to look at you right away, but like, girl, kill the 9-course deal. You know, to kill it. We don't need the 9-course meals. I think that's all it was. But for Rachel to receive that constructive criticism the way she did, and she's like, I got it. We're going from craft cocktail to vodka soda. That's it. We're done. We're good. But,
okay, Jason,
but this is not the normal Chef Rachel that we've seen, right? She's like she's on a whole new level this season.
Yeah, I think she's also being eaten up a little by the size of that boat, having to run to a different floor to go to her galley and get food and bring it back to the kitchen. It's like, that's a little ridiculous. So it's definitely, I think that's also affecting her timing. So yeah, we love her. I mean, she's awesome. Anybody who thinks differently is stupid. No, I'm kidding. You can have your opinion, but
just comment below.
Comment below if you think I'm stupid. No, don't. I don't need 190 comments of you guys going, Josh is stupid.
Yeah, we do. It's great engagement, guys. Thank you.
Okay, you can say it if you want. I love you all. You're stupid. Okay. Okay, can I brag for 1 second?
You can brag.
Okay, so first of all, my friend.
God, I can't wait for this.
My friend Captain Sandy, she follows me on Twitter. You know, no big deal, guys. I'm still the same Josh, okay? But she had do you have that tweet? You had it up at early on. 2 words, Anchor Watch, hashtag Below Deck.
Yeah, it's not up here anymore.
Funny story behind it. You got to find it, Jason, because this is, we're going to look way cooler for about 2 seconds, and then I'm going to bring us way down. So you guys, Jason's pulling up this tweet from Captain Sandy. And so then I retweeted quoting it, and I said, I think we can all agree. Captain Sandy wants you to all watch Jason Barron and I on tonight's episode of Anchor Watch.
Hell yeah.
In parentheses, I wrote, seriously, though, how insane was that other captain? So this is the tweet that I was referencing. Jason, I think, almost has it.
Which one were you talking about?
The one where...
Got it.
Come on.
And it's only mid-season?
No. 2 words, Anchor Watch, hashtag Below Deck.
Oh, yeah. I had that up earlier.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You had it up. Sorry, folks. Technical difficulties. Stand by.
Guys, this YouTube, you know, I'm not like
comment below, Jason.
Hey, if it gets us 190 comments, go ahead and work it out. Yeah.
Okay, so anyways, guys, the tweet, she wrote 2 words, Anchor Watch, hashtag Below Deck. I'm even thinking of making that my wallpaper on Twitter just because I think it's so awesome. But what she was really answering was another tweet. Someone said, have you ever had the situation where the other yacht wanting you to move happen before? You handled it like the boss you are. I also love your sensitivity to Ben about Camille leaving. So her response was 2 words, Anchor Watch, hashtag Below Deck. So she was saying Ben was on Anchor Watch. She had it covered and stuff. But it was like such a perfect tweet for us because it just says Captain Sandy and it says 2 words, Anchor Watch. Actually, I could show you guys.
We're gonna make this like something We're gonna like make it into our new thumbnail.
Should we make it like
how we're gonna? Well, this is how I started the show too. I put up 2 words: anchor watch. Yeah, she was replying to Missy, who said, "Have you ever had the situation with the other yacht, the other yacht wanting you to move?" Handled it like a boss, and literally, yeah, 100%. That was a boss move. Almost as much of a boss move as Rachel telling Camille to get the fuck out of her face.
No, Camille, not Rachel.
Huh?
You said Rachel, Camille.
No, I'm saying is that boss move that Sandy had was almost as much as a boss move as Rachel saying to Camille, get the hell out of my face.
I thought you were saying Captain Sandy said that to Rachel. I was like, what? I missed that part.
Chris, can you guys tell I did mention this though. This happened on social media. A lot of people were saying this. I agree that Sandy, Chris says in the live chat, sorry, because we're on the podcast too. Chris says, Jason, I agree that Sandy was giving her great advice, but I feel it was very disrespectful to talk to her as professionals with her back to Rachel. Employer to employee should be face-to-face. 100%. I get that. I think the boat was moving, but I have to go back and look at that. And I was talking about this with Jen Bennington, who's one of the hosts of Gangplank Report, guys. If you want to get your recap on Below Deck Adventure, Gangplank Report with Jen Bennington and Adrian Gang. Adrian has experience in Below Deck. She started this whole thing. She's actually gotten a lot of people on it. No, not even if the boat is moving, she needs to have her eyes forward. I would agree with that and that, but I'm not sure. But yeah, I would agree with you. Like if that wasn't the situation, even if she was uncomfortable to tell Rachel, hey, look, like cut down. We need to have this come out faster. Sure, I agree with that. But if the boat was moving, then yeah, she has other things to focus on at the same time. It's multitasking. Yeah,
it's like when I talk to my kids while I'm driving the car. I don't kind of I'll put my arm up and kind of spin back and go, hey, Wally, I was talking to you earlier about not addressing your sister like that.
Only if the boat was moving. I was talking to Jen about this and she's like, I'm pretty sure the boat was moving. And I'm like, I thought it was too. We could be totally mistaken, honestly. So I don't know. I do agree with that though, Chris. Like if that's the case, sure. It's like, come on. Elaine says 118 likes. Yes. Let's get to 125. There's 205 in the room, guys. Hit that like button if you haven't done so already. Ding, ding, ding. Josh, what are we looking forward to next episode? Because we didn't get really an episode kind of preview. We got the mid-season trailer.
Hold on. N-Dub's complimenting me a sec. Let me just breathe this in a moment.
Oh, Lord,
Josh is one of my favorites. I also geek out on Below Deck, aliens, and movies. We need to talk about that later. N-Dub. Okay. Okay. What am I looking forward to? The whole rest of the season. That teaser trailer they gave us was amazing. And look at the time, Jason. We're going long here, so we got to start wrapping. But that teaser trailer. This is our teaser trailer for next week. You guys, that teaser trailer was amazing. There were so many big moments. Really fun looking guests that I think are going to give us some wacky adventures, which is what we need. We love the crazy guests because we do like when the crew comes together almost in war against horrible guests or crazy guests. So I
love the horrible guests.
Yeah, we love the horrible guests.
Not the horrible guests like say Last Charter, where they didn't like the food and then they were dancing until 4:45 in the morning and then smoking backwards cigars. No, you know what I mean? No.
Yeah.
Not those kind of horrible guests. Just really extravagant, over the top. We don't need you on the show. Why the hell are you here? I feel like it's been a warm up. I feel sorry for Fraser for what's to come.
We were teased with Captain Sandy is addressing one of her department heads and said the phrase, the fish rots from the head. Ross or Fraser are going to get a talking. Something's going on in one of their departments. She's going to have to deal with it. And then we were teased with Captain Lee coming back, but it looked like Captain Sandy's going to be with us for a few more charters. I don't see him coming back next week or the week after.
No.
I think
I've heard it's towards the end, and I don't know. This is all speculation, okay? But allegedly, this is his last season, which it's kind of coming. Even at BravoCon when we were there in October, he had to come out with a go-kart thing. What is that called? Not a go-kart, like a golf cart. A go-kart. He came out in BravoCon on a golf cart kind of thing, and had trouble just with his back still. So I don't know safety moving forward, and if he's able to. I'm gonna miss his one-liners for sure. Even just him throwing that big tip on the table and saying that's a fucking big tip, isn't it? Just stuff like that. Like, you miss that kind of like Captain Lee commentary. Like, he's really good at that. He's great TV. I don't see him coming back next season. We've already heard rumors from like inside the Below Deck community. We've heard rumors that there is a new captain coming.
2 more things. Fraser, him continuing on his journey to becoming who I think is going to be a great Chief Stew and be with us multiple seasons. Don't cry, Fraser. And then the other one is Chef Rachel. She loves to fight back from, like, if people are doubting her or if she's messed up, she tries to make good on it in big ways. I think she's like, she lost a couple rounds. The fight isn't over. She had some challenges the past few with these long dinners and stuff. I think she's going to come back big the rest of the season and like really hit it out of the park. I think she's so yeah, it'll be fun.
I think she's going to take the criticism, the constructive, very constructive criticism she got from Captain Sandy, take that, move forward, and do that. I mean, it's like, I think she was really excited to have those previous charter guests come on where she's like, I know Indian food, I know spice, and they're like, we don't like this food. This isn't spice enough. Now she put all the spice into these guests who aren't really into spicy food. She has a pregnant woman on board. Like, the primary is sober. So between courses, the primary is just drinking water. Like, where the hell is my damn food? So
and the other thing,
a lot of challenges.
The other thing I'll add too is, you and I know we've covered so many of these Below Deck shows. There's always a ratings viewership dip in the middle of the season. That's just, we're used to it. Even our views go down in the middle typically. Sure. But this season for Bravo and for us, the ratings are going up, up, up. We're getting more views. You could tell Below Deck has an exciting season going on. People are engaged. People want to talk about it. We've got over 200 people in the chat room wanting to come in and like get together and discuss. This is not that we have a great season.
We're lucky.
Mine's great casting. Bravo, good job this season. You owed us one because we had such a bad season 9. We deserve this. So
you said it this time. I didn't say it.
I know. I said it for you. Okay, Jason.
Guys, like Josh said last week, and Josh, I appreciate you for saying this because sometimes we do forget. We appreciate you guys for being here. Thank you, mods, for being here. Thank you guys for commenting, hitting that like button. We appreciate you guys so damn much. Seriously. Yeah. Like, thank you. It makes our Tuesday nights so much better. We're loving the show. I can't wait till next week. I don't know where I'm going to be when we're here next week, but we will be here.
Yeah, hopefully. If we're not here next week, guys, follow me on Twitter at SeeJoshGo. I love to tweet with you guys. At Jason Barrett. Find us. We will update you guys. There's a possibility because Jason and Adam are moving. And so Jason today was talking to the company about getting fiber put in. I've been hearing about this all day. It's a challenge. So we might have to take a week off. Just FYI, guys. It's not you. It's us. Okay, guys. It's not you. All right. But wonderful.
In return, I will bring you something. I'll bring you something fun because next week is the finale of Below Deck Adventure. And I might go down to their wrap party. So we'll see how wrap party, their finale party. They've already wrapped. That'll be fun. Maybe.
We love you.
I love Captain Carey. I love Captain Carey.
We
you don't even watch Adventure, do you?
Look, don't worry about it. I will. I promise. Guys, I love you.
All right, guys. We love you. Have a great night. We'll see you guys next week, if not the week after. Bye, everyone. Have a good night.